Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me. This is a good time. Let's get our way over to the main card with the magic of the green screen here. We've got, oh, speaking of which, Jim Miller. We were just talking about that guy. Jim Miller taking on Roosevelt Roberts, a young, up-and-coming, hot prospect, mind you. If I could put GIFs into this video, I would be doing that right now with Zoolander. He's so hot right now. Roosevelt Roberts is coming off a solid win over Brock Weaver. However, Brock Weaver's a bit of a bum. We all know this. He may not be UFC caliber, but the fact that he's so physically strong and durable, and Roosevelt was able to wear him down and put him away in round two, still found positive takeaways for me, in my opinion. Jim A10 Miller, which I don't know when he got the A10 nickname, but I don't like it. I'm just going to call him Jim Miller. He's only got one round of gas these days. Have you noticed that? It seems like Jim is boom or bust, and it all happens in the first round. Let's take a look at his recent record. Since April 21st, 2018, knockout loss first round, submission win first round, submission loss first round, submission win first round, submission win first round, and then a 3-round unanimous decision against Scott Holtzman, where he took a beating in February, and I had the unfortunate pleasure of betting on Jim Miller. I saw an opening in Scott Holtzman's game, and I filled that hole with a skill that Jim Miller has, and he brought the action, man. I'm not sold on Scott Holtzman, and I thought Jim Miller had enough left in the tank to get that one over. I was wrong. He took a beating for the full 15 minutes, and he did answer back. He landed some big shots the way I knew he was going to, but he just didn't have enough pop on his punches to put away a guy that's durable like Scott Holtzman. So let's look at some of these numbers, shall we? Jim Miller has a 71-inch reach. He is 5'8". Roosevelt is 6'2", so he's going to have a massive height advantage here, and has a 73-inch reach. So only a 2-inch reach advantage, but still, it's something. Roosevelt Roberts averages 3.12 significant strikes per minute, absorbing only 2.26, whereas Jim Miller averages 2.83 significant strikes per minute and is absorbing 3.02. So these days, he is tipping the scales from trading with his opponents to being a punching bag. He, unfortunately, is on his way out. Jim Miller does have a 41% takedown accuracy, which is pretty good, but he only averages 1.69 takedowns per fight, which usually is because the fight is over after that. So that's not really a bad number. Normally, we wouldn't like to see that ratio there, but most of Jim Miller's fights are over after the one takedown, so it doesn't really matter. Takedown defense rating, however, is 46%. That's not great either. Even though he wants to be on the ground, you'd like to see him keep the fight on the feet if you wanted to a little bit more than that. Roosevelt Roberts is just superior everywhere as far as his numbers go. Now, again, we have to take into account the level of competition, right? Jim Miller has been fighting everybody in the UFC forever. But we've gotten to the point where I think his durability is starting to go. And especially with the fact that in that Scott Holtzman fight, in the he gasses. If he doesn't kill you in the first round, rounds 2 and 3 get ugly. And Roosevelt Roberts has shown that he turns that dial up. He turns the intensity up as the fight goes on, as opposed to turning it down. So long story short, your boy's playing Roosevelt Roberts here. I actually have a 2-unit parlay, which if you follow me, you know my 2-unit parlay is my max bet. I only do 1 unit per bet. Slow and steady is the way to go for me. I like to keep a small unit size, and I like to rapid fire. I like to have a lot of bets, a lot of picks, and then try and chip out some profit like that. But when I feel really comfortable on something, when I feel really good about a play, I will throw 2 units at it, and that's what I've done here. Roosevelt Roberts at minus 255 is the first leg of my 2-teamer parlay. He's still sitting at 2. Actually, I appear to have botched this line movement here. Some money is coming in on Jim Miller. He's about 225 right now, which really surprises me. You got to wonder who is betting Jim Miller in this spot, because Jim's path to victory is going to be take this kid down and choke him out. The choke is essentially all he's got. He's sub or bust. Roosevelt Roberts has good takedown defense. He's got good submission defense. He's an excellent grappler himself. He is going to be the younger fighter by, a lot. Jim is 36. Roosevelt is 26. That's a 10-year difference. The younger fighter wins those a lot when there's that big of a gap in age. I just think this is a changing of the guard fight, folks. I think Roosevelt Roberts gets it done. And as much as I hate to see it, I don't think Jim Miller's got anything for him. How do you all feel? I'm going to get caught up here on the chat. Gas stations say maybe take Miller first round at giant odds. Yeah, I mean, if you can get good odds on Miller in round 1, go for it. But I think the bookies are going to be a little wise to that. We're going to have to look at the round totals when they come out a little later on. Yo, Sports Keg, what's up, buddy? Thanks for jumping in the chat. I appreciate you joining in. Curious how you feel on this fight card, man. I'm going to be watching your breakdowns a little later on as well, because there are so many fights on this card that are so close. I mean, this is one of those ones you legitimately could make a case for almost every single fighter on the card. Thanks for tuning in, Pav. Have a good one. And Alan, yeah, Roberts round 2 punches. I'm kind of feeling the same thing, man. I think it's a ground and pound. I think Roberts is going to defend himself in round 1. He's going to piece up Jim. Jim is going to start to fade. And then when we get to round 2 or round 3, Roberts will be able to start pounding him out. Gillian saying Robertson doesn't have good enough takedown defense. He got taken down by Pichel and Yakovlev. Yeah, I mean, that's true. And he won't survive that position against Miller. But this is one of those guys that I think he's constantly improving, and especially what he showed us in the Brock Weaver fight, I think he's headed the right direction. I'm going to go ahead and risk it, man. I feel what you're saying there. He could have it. He needs to improve. But again, Yakovlev is a guy that's got 3 rounds of gas. Yakovlev is a guy that can keep on coming. I don't think Jim can. I think Jim's got round 1, and that's it. So if Jim doesn't get him in round 1, we're in trouble here. And I think Roberts can win by 3-round decision or also inside the distance. So that's why I have parlayed him at that big price. I do feel like I missed out, though. I wish I got that minus 225 for sure.